What's up, everyone? This is Destroyer229, and welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. Last time, we managed to make our way through the rest of our investigation and got through the preliminary stage of the trial itself. We managed to get a few pieces of evidence, including a monkey and a ring. But in the case itself, specifically from Gumshoe, we got the autopsy report, which has the official cause of death, as well as more information on the box that the ringmaster had when he died. Apparently it was a very heavy wooden box with just a tiny little bit of pepper inside. Which, not entirely sure how that's relevant, but whatever. In this episode, we are continuing our interrogation on Trilo. We've managed to basically show that he was waiting outside of the lodge, specifically waiting for Regina. And we managed to catch him in the lie that he noticed Max, but did not notice Russell. So, that's, like, why would he make special note of Max? So, we got to the next part of the testimony where he's talking about his proposal to Regina. Which, again, very creepy. But let's go ahead and press everything. There's an obvious lie in here, but we should still press everything just to make sure that we've got everything that we need. By proposal, you mean proposing marriage, correct? To Regina? Of course that's what I meant! What kind of stupid question is that? I wasn't going to propose that we become some sort of outlaw biker gang together. Right, Ben? Yeah. Got it? That's the truth. Okay, Ivan had something to give her. The ring. What was it exactly that you planned on giving her? You know exactly what I was gonna give her, numbskull? The only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty. Answer his question. What was it? You're going to die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring. Engagement ring? Wow, those two nearly fell out of their chairs. Mr. Phoenix Light's joke has gone too far. Time for this to end right here. Francisca's whip looks like it's about to lash out at almost anything. One hit from that thing will probably shut someone up for a long time. Pain equals bad. Now push on anyway. It may be something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time that a puppet has ever proposed to a human being. I advise you to cut this argument short. I'm going to have to agree with the defense here. Will the witness please revise their testimony? Specifically about the engagement ring. I'd like to stick to facts, not sociology. I'm sure to enjoy sweating the details, especially for a man in black bathrobe. Okay, we gotta change. I plan on giving an engagement ring to Regina. An engagement ring? Uh-huh. It's actually a diamond-shaped stone cut from glass. Even more brilliant than the real thing. I think Regina's gonna love it. It's just a ring. What's the matter, Nick? Well, there's gotta be something I can catch him on. Yes, he didn't have it. It was stolen by the monkey. Here's the thing. I kept it in my pocket waiting for a chance to propose. Whose pocket was the ring in? Mine, of course. What a stupid question. You gotta be kidding me. You think Ben could pull that off? I'm sorry. Really? You don't have to apologize for that. He's the one who should be apologizing. Really? I also had it in my pocket that night. So you went to the lodging house to give it to her. That's right. Tried to give it to her during practice so many times that I lost count. But that uppity snob kept getting in the way. Uppity snob? He couldn't possibly be talking about me, Maximilian Galactica. When I get a hold of him, I'm going to saw his wood block in half. And not with magic. Well, they always say that love creates rivalries. So what about this present? Max, seriously, shut the hell up. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. So you're still thinking of trying to give it to Regina? Of course I am! I spent 3 months' salary on this thing. I'm not gonna give it up that easily. Huh, I wonder how much he receives for appearing in the circus. Probably way more than he deserves. How about it, Nick? I think it's about time to unwrap this toy's testimony. That's the spirit, Nick. Give him heck! The judge has that dazed and confused look again. Maybe he should get it out more. Okay, well this is weird. I planned on giving an maybe? I think we needed this change in the testimony to then make the further part in the testimony be a contradiction. So that's it, because it's like, it's a gift, it's a gift, it's a gift. The gift doesn't make it a contradiction. It being the ring makes it a contradiction. But is this, I don't think the testimony itself naturally, there's gotta be something I can catch him on. The thing is, showing the ring, a cheap ring with an eerie sparkle from T to R is engraved on it. The thing is that that part of the testimony isn't being contradicted, but it does make the later part, oh crap, it does make the later part in the testimony be contradicted, since we know, oh, it's an engagement ring. I've still got it in my pocket. No, you don't. I have it right here. Objection! Guess I was right on that, but I think I still needed that part first to make that a contradiction. Trilo, do you mind if I show you something? What is it? What are you talking about? Uh-oh. Looks like they're going to double team me now. Do you recognize this ring? That's mine! Give it back! Thief! Thief! Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said, in the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Why then do I have it right here? Ah! What is going on here? It's... Ben, say something! Don't put me on the spot like that, Trilo. I found this in Money's room. Money's room? You mean a room they put money like a bank vault? That filthy monkey's gonna get what's coming to him. Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you avoided slandering innocent fiats in my court. Well, Your Honor, Money really is a monkey, in every sense of the word. Ah, I see. Well then. Money likes to go after the shiniest things that he can find and gather them up. Shiny things? Trilo, when was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was that time, you know, that night, the night of the crime. What did you just say? Details. I need more details. Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up in the plaza. Right about when you saw the defendant walk past, correct? Well, I guess you might be able to say that. The ring might have, well, it could have been taken around that time. Ben, what's with you? Oh, whatever. It has nothing to do with anything, especially not who committed the murder. It's not for you to decide what has to do with what. Now, Trilo, back to the topic at hand. I haven't admitted a thing. Not I, Mr. Trilo Quist. What did you do when the ring was taken, Trilo? You know exactly what I did. I chased after that ring-snatching monkey Money. But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you? It's all this slow, oafy fool called Ben's fault. While he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away. That's indeed an incredible shame. Well, this does indeed prove one very important point. Prove an important point? What point could that possibly be? Sorry about the jump cut, got pulled away at a very inopportune time. Anyway, I had to look through the old footage that I just went through. Remember what exactly this was. Hasn't been too long, but still. Anyway, point is that the testimony has a flaw. There's a very obvious contradiction in here. How can we trust anything if we know for a fact that he was lying about the ring? There is a huge contradiction in this witness's testimony. Contradiction? The witness just testified to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just stated that he chased after Money, the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza. What is the meaning of all of this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Where are you going with this little theory of yours? I'm saying that there is no possible way that this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I'm going with this little theory, which leads me to my next point. It is entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene. Interesting, Mr. Wright. Well then, tell me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you have any proof that something slipped past this vigilant ventriloquist? Objection! Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene. However, that doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive. The witness is lying! He is blinded by his rivalry with Max! Well, the defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendant. What? How dare you? I wouldn't lie just to get that dork face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him. No doubt about it. I saw that worthless liar. Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw on that night. Ha! Told you many times. You think you know my story's not changing. You've already changed your story, stick boy. And I'm sure it will change some more. Where there's one lie, there's usually many more behind it. Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him. Yeah. Alright, I think we can do one more testimony, then we have to call it, regardless of how long it takes. Kind of on a time limit more this evening, so better get through this quickly. I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina. But that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. So, that means that Money didn't show up until after you saw Max. That's right, Money ran up less than a minute after I saw Max. Then Money snatched the ring and you went chasing after him. How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting? Let's see, I'd say about, I suppose, 5 minutes, I think. So the victim could have arrived on the scene in that 5-minute stretch. Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. Okay, well, we know that... We know that Max was waiting there. This is someone else, but nothing's immediately jumping out at me, so press everything. So you were only concerned with waiting for Regina that night. That means you probably wouldn't have noticed if someone else showed up. You should think about how many eyes I actually have. I've got 4, you know. 4. F-O-U-R. Counting Ben, of course. With that many eyes, you really think something would have slipped by me? 4 eyes is an awful lot of attention directed at one area, I suppose. Yikes. Judge even more dangerous to our case than Trilo. Alright, well that didn't help. That doesn't change the fact that I saw Max. You saw someone wearing Max's outfit. Wasn't Max. So you saw Max coming out of the big top that night. Of course that's where I saw him coming from. I was staring at the entrance to the tent the entire time. I guess that makes sense, especially since he was waiting for Regina. But you... The problem is that what Max said is essentially hearsay. I don't have any proof that he was actually there waiting in the ringmaster's office. Okay, he showed up after I'd been waiting for about 5 minutes. About what time would you say these events took place? You're one of the dumbest people on the planet if you can't figure it out yourself. You already know that practice finished promptly at 10 p.m. And you already know that I went to the lodging house right after practice. You don't need to be brain surgeon to know about what time it was when I saw him. Just add 10 more minutes. I'm sure you can do that. And what time was it? Indeed, what time was it? What time was it? Let me think about that for a sec. Ah! I'm no good at math! It was 10:10 p.m. Oh, yes, that sounds about right. Sounds about right, because that's the time I saw Max out on the scene. Okay, I'm getting the feeling that this is having more to do with the autopsy report. Okay, so took about 5 minutes after practice. I said good evening, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. So basically he got back right when the murder happened. So you testify that you said good evening to Max that night. You must enjoy asking incredibly obvious questions. You said good morning in the morning, good afternoon in the day, right? And it's obvious that I'd say good night to someone at night. What, Ben? You got something to add? Let me guess. That's not it, Trilo. You say good evening at night. I'm sorry, Trilo. Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you kept your ventriloquist's act outside of the courtroom. Impossible! A performer lives and breathes his performances. You should know better! There's gotta be something wrong with this bit of testimony. Well, I mean, I could basically just go through all of these. Trilo's evening greeting. That doesn't really matter. Ben's half of the comedy act, because, I mean, he's just basically the punching boy. I hate to say it, but Ben's part in your little act is coming off a bit stale. I'm sure that if a pro were to review your work... Ah! You're not trying to pass yourself off as a professional performer, are you? Don't get so wrapped up in yourself, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Should know better! Oh, that hurts! That should have set him straight. You may proceed with your testimony, witness. Okay. I did not get anything with that. Let's see if the other one actually gets us anything. Because it doesn't actually cost us anything to try. Isn't that a bit strange to you? What do you mean? Well, if you hate Max so much, why would you bother being nice to him? It strikes me as somewhat strange. Why would it strike you as strange? Exactly. How is it strange to be cordial to one of your co-workers? Well, if it was simply just being cordial to a co-worker, I would understand. Ow, that hurt! Maybe you should think of having some proof before your lips start flopping next time. Proof is everything in this world. You should have learned that back in grade school. There's no reason that Trilo would ever say something nice to Max. But how do I go about proving that with evidence? Bluffing is everything in this world, but I'm sure you already learned that one. I guess I can give it a shot. The witness will resume his testimony. Huh. I mean, the bottle. The bottle would seem to be one reason why. Why would you be cordial to someone who knocked you over the head earlier that day? It's worth a shot, but I'm gonna go through everything to see if I can't find anything better. You are 100% absolutely sure of what you just said. I told you already? Jeez, I'm 100% absolutely sure. There's no way that he could be any more confident than that. Right? Alright, well, that didn't help. No, I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. I'm pretty sure we're just gonna get repeat on that. Those 3 ridiculous symbols, huh? Out of curiosity, exactly how many times have you asked that question by now? If you're gonna ask again, I'll answer with a chorus. Everyone together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you very much. Maya, you didn't have to join in, did you? But it's fun shouting out with everyone else. There has to be a hole in this testimony somewhere. I agree, but do we have the proof to make something stick? All we can do is try, right, Nick? We've got to have something that will prove useful. Alright, time to go to work. Okay, so I'm not getting anything else. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. So the idea is, why would you say good evening? Okay. So the evening greeting, let's go over this again. It's a bit strange that you would... Let's see. If you hate Max so much, why would you bother being nice to him? It strikes me as somewhat strange. How's it strange to be cordial? Think of having proof before your lips start flapping. There's no reason that Trilo would ever say something nice to Max. But how do I go about proving that with evidence? And I guess I gotta bluff my way to that. Okay, so it has to be this one, because this is the only one that's proven to be anything of worth. The biggest thing I can think of is the bottle. Monkeys, before any of this happened, the ring is irrelevant at this point. The autopsy report isn't anything. Oh, Ben was moved up here. Benjamin Woodman, without his puppy, won't say much. Yeah, there's nothing here that would really be evident otherwise. I'm gonna go with the bottle. I kinda have to bluff my way. But he didn't even acknowledge my presence. He whacked you over the head with this. Why would you bother being cordial? Give it a go. Objection! Yeah! Trilo, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder? A fight? A fight over Regina, to be exact. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was just an argument. Disagreement at most. A disagreement usually doesn't end with someone getting clonked over the head. Ah! That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he? What? Is that an admission of assault and battery? No! Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first. The truth is that on the day of the crime, the defendant and witness had a huge fight. There is absolutely no way they would have suddenly become cordial that evening. Moreover, just consider the possibility, the personality of the witness on stand. There's no way a puppet this lewd would just up and say good evening to his rival. Ah! Are you saying this witness is lying? That he is trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crime scene? I didn't tell a single lie! Honest, I just... That's enough from you, Mr. Quist. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Let's clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night? Oh boy. He didn't see anyone. He saw the definitely not the defendant, because that's what we're trying to prove. I'm willing to bet that he saw a different person. He's either lying about saying good evening, or he recognized that it was someone else. I don't think it's that he didn't see anyone. That's too much there. So yeah, he saw a different person. Either someone was masquerading as Max, or it was just someone else altogether. It is my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night. It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to. What kind of theory is that? The correct one. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all. What? If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greeting at all. Which means there's only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. That is why Trilo made the effort to greet whoever it was that he saw that evening. Or, good evening, as he put it. What in the world? You... Would the defense kindly explain who it was that Trilo saw that evening then? Oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, it's either gotta be Mo or Russell. I'm willing to bet that it's Russell? 'Cause he'd already testified that he met with Mo and that he left. So... And then he was... Okay, so basically, I'm trying to get the timing of events down. So after practice at 10, he escorted Mo back to his room. From there, he went back and waited for Regina. Then, who he's testifying as Max showed up. The only other person that we have that it could possibly be would be Russell. It can't be Regina, otherwise he would have tried to give her the ring. Couldn't have been Max, because he wouldn't have given the greeting at all. It could be Acro, but we don't have him available, so it's gotta be Russell. Considering the ill temper of this witness, there's only one person he would greet. It must be Regina! It's Regina, right? Oh, she's so cute. No, Your Honor, it is not Regina. If it was Regina, Trilo would have given her the engagement ring as a present. Oh, yeah. I suppose you've got a point there. It was Russell Berry, the victim himself, was it not? You are correct. It was indeed Russell Berry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster, Russell Berry. That's why you greeted him, Trilo. Isn't that correct? Answer the question, Mr. Quist! Order! Order! How do you respond to this? Wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man. But once got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica. I think it is high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quist obviously witnessed a single person in the area of the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica? Or was it the ringmaster, one Mr. Russell Berry? The prosecution argues that it was the defendant that the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated that he saw the defendant's 3 symbols. 3 symbols? Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man, you've got to remember them by now. Here we go again. Everyone, all together now. No! Yes, we know. The silk hat, cloak, and white roses. A silk hat and a cloak. Anyone could wear them. Didn't even look good on me. What was that? Well, the witnesses endlessly repeated that he saw Max's 3 symbols. However, how do we really know it was Maximilian Galactica? It could have been someone else dressed up as him. Possibly even Russell Berry. What? Miss Von Karma, do you have clear evidence that the person the witness saw was the defendant? Well, If that's the case, then it's impossible for me to make a judgment at this point. Yes! I think we finally won a point on this one! That is very unfortunate. Huh? You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What do you mean by that? You merely established one thing from this witness. You established that this witness saw one person in the plazas that night. I applaud you on your effort. But... who that person was can only be answered by the next witness. Huh? Your Honor, the prosecution will provide beyond a shadow of a doubt an answer to that question, and evidence that clearly establishes one thing. That there is no one other than Maximilian Galactica responsible for this crime. Very well. The court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare their next witness. Court is now in recess. Okay, well, I think we managed to do pretty well on that. Considering the atrocity that was the first day in trial on the last case, I'm glad this one seemed a little bit more straightforward. Even if there was just a tiny leap of faith, it wasn't really out of the question. Unlike some of the stuff from that other case, dear God, that was awful. But we managed to get through this round of testimony unscathed. And with that, we're calling it a day here. So, next time on Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. Gonna take a little bit of a breather, probably talk to Max and Maya, before jumping into our second witness, who is undoubtedly Mo the Clown. So, until next time, everyone, take care.